What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in a building with another banger. Now, first things first, before we go ahead and get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank God for another day and another opportunity. And as y'all can see from the looks of the title and the screen, today, man, I got a very special build in store for y'all. Now, I'm going to be calling it the two-way MIDDY post scorer in NBA 2K24 on next gen, and this build is actually going to come out to a 3-level threat. Now, this is absolutely going to be one of the best all-around builds on next gen, and as far as for comparisons, this build really does remind me of LaMelo Ball. Now, getting into our attributes, we will be able to get a 99 plus for our post control, mid-range shot, three-pointer, perimeter defense, a ball handle, and steal. And we'll also be able to get the upgraded dunk packages and the pro upgrades for dribbling. Now, as far as for badges, we'll be able to get 7 Hall of Fame, MIDDY Magician, Open Looks, Guard Up, Dream Shake, and Post Fade Phenom, 14 gold, 13 silver, 18 bronze, and some of these, I'm telling y'all, are going to be key because those are going to be limitless range and killer combos. Now, we'll be able to get a total of 62 badges. And for today's build, this is going to be a part post score, and also you'll be able to get contact dunks. Now, the potential for this build, I'm telling y'all, I truly do believe that it stands in the top 10 for builds on NBA 2K24. As for a user rating, I give this build a 10 out of 10 because I know that anybody can pick it up and find success with. It's really an all-around build, and I think it's going to be fun for any type of playstyle. Now, what's very special is going to be the badge count, but also what we're able to do with the badges that we unlock. I truly believe this is one of the most overpowered builds. So before we get any further into this video, if it's your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new, smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family, and last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from, and I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with a response. Now, to get started today, the very first thing that we need to do is put this build under the point guard position. Getting into the height, I decided to go with 6'8". And then for the weight, I like this best at 215 pounds. More for the wingspan, I'm going to go ahead and put this to 6'10 exactly. And this is what we should be able to look like moving forward on today's build. Now, the first area that I do want to get into is going to be the most important, and that's going to be the physicals. So as for our speed, I'm going to go with an 81. Getting into the acceleration, I think this is going to be best at a 66. Moving into our strength, I'm going to go with an 82. And then as for when it comes to our vertical, I'm going to leave this at a 60. Now for the stamina, I'm going to go with a 93. And this right here will allow us to move forward through today's build. Now remember, we do get a +4 from the Gatorade workouts. So we have an 85 speed, 70 acceleration, 86 strength, 64 vertical with a 97 stamina. Now feel free to make any changes, but I promise you the physicals are going to be key when it comes to today's badges. So the first area that I'm going to get into is going to be the finishing. So as for when it comes to the post control, I decided to put this up to a 92. Getting into the driving dunk, I'm going to go with an 80. And then as for the driving layup, leave this at a 65 with a 62 close shot. Now, some of the badges that we were able to unlock are going to be Slithery. You also do get Acrobat and Aerial Wizard. Others are going to be Scooper and Float Game. Pro Touch and Bunny are definitely important. But we're able to get badges on gold like Spin Cycle and Two Step. Getting into the actual driving dunk, the main badge that I'm looking at here is going to be Precision Dunker and Aerial Wizard. As for the post control, this will be affected down the road with our ball handle. But just to give you a small taste, we get Gold Unpluckable, Silver Back Down Punisher, which for a 6'8 point guard, I think it makes a huge difference. I do love the badge Dream Shake on any tier. Also, the same exact thing can be said for Drop Stepper. Then we get Hook Specialist and Hall of Fame Post Spin Technician. So the next area that I want to get into is going to be the shooting. Go ahead and put the mid-range shot all the way up to a 92. As for the three-pointer, I really think that this is going to be best at an 85. Now, as you can see, the badges that we did unlock so far are pretty solid. You get gold blinders, Deadeye. Space Creator is super overpowered as every year it is. Then we get guard up with MIDDY Magician. Open looks, Comeback Kid with Dream Shake. Some of these badges will be upgraded from previous categories. And then as for the actual three-pointer, we do get badges like Limitless Range as well as Agent 3. Now for the free throw, if you want to take the extra route to go with a 71 for the badge free points, that's something that I can definitely be okay with. But for today, I'm going to leave this build as is. Now from here, I'm going to get into the playmaking, and the first area that I'm going after is going to be the pass accuracy. So go with a 75. Moving into the ball handle, I'm going to go with an 85. And then as for the speed with ball, put this to a 75 as well. Now as you can see, the badges that we did get for the passing are going to be Silver Break Starter, Dimer with Relay Passer, Touch Passer, Post Playmaker with Special Delivery. Now you also will be able to get badges like Gold Unpluckable with Ankle Breaker, Blow By, Silver Handles for Days with Physical Handles. Now I also do like Speed Booster and Killer Combos. Triple Strike makes a huge difference. And then for the speed with the ball, the other badges that I'm after are going to be Hyperdrive with Speed Booster. Now the rest of the attributes will be left over for the defensive end. So this is what we will be able to do out of the offense. I truly believe with these badges and numbers, this is one of the absolute best builds that you can make for the point guard position. So getting into the interior, I'm going to go with a 61. As for the perimeter, go ahead and put this to an 85. Now finishing everything with the steal, go with an 85 here as well. And then for that block, I'm going to go with a 77. Now for the defensive rebound, if you want to get more out of this area, you definitely can do so. What I think is going to be best is these numbers on the defensive end. The 61 on the interior gives us Bronze Anchor and Silver Workhorse. For the block, we do get Chase Down Artist on the Bronze tier. And then for the steal and perimeter defense, I think this is one of the strongest areas of today's build. But the badges that I like are going to be Clamps and Challenger. You also do get 94 feet with Pick Dodger. And then for the steal, there's nothing more that can be said about this build as for the badges. Glove Interceptor and Right Stick Ripper. All of these make a huge difference, especially for the defensive end. Now I think with this build for a whole, consider adding your own boost, activating your takeover, wearing gear, and also the boost that we get from playing well throughout each game. You have a lot of potential in all four of these areas and even the physicals. I truly do want to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Is there anything that you possibly would change to make this build a little bit better? Now from here, let's go ahead and move forward to make sure that we made the build correctly together. Now we should be able to get these three different shades of Lonzo Ball, Oscar Robertson, and Drew Holiday. And as y'all can see, together we have created the two-way MIDDY post scorer. But this is actually the best 3-level threat, and I can consider this a demigod because of the way that I built it and what we're able to do. Now with the boost that I mentioned, really add everything up so you can find out the true potential of this build, or if you made your own adjustments, I think that's definitely something worth looking after. Now look, I really want to say thank y'all so much for the support. More so than anything, thank God King Jesus for another day and another opportunity. And if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button. Turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. And last but definitely not least, comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from. And I most definitely will be sure to get back to y'all with the response. And with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.